Hi everyone, welcome back to another video from Disciples of Alien. And in today's video we're going to take a look at two things. So the first thing we're going to look at is how does agility affect your movement speed? And the second thing we're going to look at is my favorite swanting spots on Calypso and the reason why I swant the mobs I do. So stick with me. Now, so when you first start on Planet Calypso, you're gonna be starting with one attribute point in each attribute. This is something I had completely spaced out on and thought you started with 40 agility, I believe it was, I thought, when you were new. So it was a while since I started there. And if we compare that to what I have with this new guy, he's got 1 agility and I've got 71. And I've got a way to counter that by encumbering myself. Now, if you look at this video that is about to show up here, I had the friend of Daniel Basim Paris, a new guy on Entropia, who was willing to help me demonstrate. And as you can see, he keeps an even pace with me when I am just encumbered. Alright? So, when I have just about enough of common dung in my inventory, or anything really, I get outrun by this guy. And this is Noob to Seal the Challenge, a society mate of mine who helped out as well. He's got 23 agility. And as we can see on the mini or the radar, he is actually gaining distance from me, even though I have 71 agility. So this means that I am back on a new player scale. So just to actually go ahead and take a look at this in comparison to myself, I decided to do this. On the left side, we see me running with dung in my inventory, just encumbered. And on the right side, I am running without anything in my inventory. So just plain movement speed and no movement speed increases, just the agility difference. So keep this in mind now. This is me differentiating myself from 1 agility up to 71 agility. And as you can see, there's a difference, because once I reach the 3 here, we're gonna start counting, alright? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, that's a 7-second difference. The very first spot that we're gonna look at is right here at Autumn's West Mound, just on the beach here, and we'll just go ahead and teleport real quick. Poof. But when you start to kill these guys, or when you actually start fronting these guys, you are gonna start finding your fruit and your stone and your dung, but more importantly, you're gonna get some fairly valuable items as well. Well, not the most valuable, obviously, but you're gonna get Snarksnot skins from these. You are going to get, let's see, what else was it? Soft hide from them as well. You get basic mineral extractors. You get diluted sweat, weak cloth extractors, and yeah, some high speed controller component as well. Not sure on the control component though. But when it comes to it, this gives you a better deal than just stunning and sweating, because you're gonna see here, it doesn't really take me long to drain this one. Now keep in mind though, this one is obviously sped up like 5 times, I believe it is. And we're just gonna go ahead and see what we get here. Done. So here we go. Now we're going back to normal speed. Lovely, lovely. And I'm just gonna use the whip to kill him. So as you can see, you got 70 sweat from a single Snarksnot. Now that's pretty decent, and you can obviously do this from day one as well. So that's the good part. On to the next spot. The next spot is right over here, and the ones we are gonna swant over here are the Combibo youngs. Now these guys are even slower than the Snarksnots, and they have an added bonus, which is you can tame them. So if you're a tamer and you're doing this, you can go ahead and tame these. Now, in comparison to the Snarksnot that we killed just earlier here, these guys tend to drop a few even more valuable items. Now, the number one that I'm used to finding from these is orange paint cans. So those go for about 300% markup, which is really nice. You get hairspray, which is about 140%, I believe. And then you also have the added chance of getting cobalt armor from them, which is actually fairly rare though. But the bonus of this spot, I have to say, is that there is a really dense spawn of Combibos right next to him. So you can always just go back, grab another. Now, here is the thing we're actually after. So you see that? That is what we're after, because now we got the little bonus of, well, that was roughly 19 Bombardo, so that's about 35 extra sweat bottles, if you think of it in that sense, which is pretty neat. Could be even more though. So if you take a look at this, this is just absolutely terrific for a swanting spot. And as well as taming, because you can always go ahead and you can destroy the pets over at Port Atlantis. And there you have a chance to get rare animal essence, which is basically worth a 2.9 ped at the moment. So every single one is a chance of getting that. Okay, so we're done, and these guys give us 80 sweat. Alright, so that's 80 per Combibo. Now, the one thing you gotta keep in mind when you're killing the combis is that they do have a fairly high regeneration rate. So the bonus of taming them is that you don't have to worry about the regeneration part, because you don't really care about the health. But if you kill them, you're gonna get benefit towards the codex anyway, so that's a plus. Now, on to the next one, and that is the good old famous one. And here's where I'm gonna have to, well, regret it a bit, because you're not gonna be able to do this easily from day one, and you're gonna see why in a second here. Because when we run up to these guys, you're gonna see that they have a tremendous speed in comparison to you as a new player. So I would recommend that when you go for these guys, it's probably best to aim for having some 20 plus agility before you start fronting these guys, or at least have a movement speed increase ring. So that would be really good. Otherwise you can just sweat them initially and kill them. That's also an option. But here you'll see what I mean. And he starts to get pretty close fairly quickly. And yeah, as you can see, the pet actually works as some kind of a barrier, so it's a bit odd. So he doesn't really follow in a straight path, which is, it can be seen as a bonus. But the reason why we are swanting or fronting the Exarosaurs is because they drop Blazar fragments, and they also drop wool, an Exarosaur wool, and a whole other array of items. But they also keep some 50 sweat in them when they are youngs. So as you can see, even I have troubles doing this when I'm trying to keep this guy at bay. So it was a bit awkward, I'm gonna be honest, because I thought this was gonna be super easy for a new player as well, but turns out you actually need there is a bit of a curve here when it comes to which ones you can progress to. So we'll just go ahead and kill off the Exaro young, and then we we did get ourselves a little bonus here with the Snablesnot. So we'll continue with that one. Now, when it comes to the Snables, you have two different varieties of them in comparison to the other creatures that we've seen. Because the Snablesnots, they have a male version and a female version. And the female version is a lot slower. So that's a pretty good thing for you as a new player to keep a track of. And they also have more health. So I believe they have 50 or 40 health. This one at least. So they're not as robust as the Snarksnots. But when it comes to drops from these guys, they have two really good benefits. They drop, what is it, orange paint cans, and they also drop stone extractors, the basic stone extractors. So that's a really good bonus, because when you are running around here, you're gonna find brookite. And brookite can be used as one of the basic material constructions, or the basic texture blueprints of Calypso. So you're going to be able to self-sustain yourself for some texturing crafting, which can lead to more blueprints, which is kind of nice, in my opinion. So that's that when it comes to this one. Alright, so when it comes to these guys, you have it along the ridge here where we had the Exarosaurs, but they're also over here, up way to the north here, around Fort Argus. Now, this area right here is a brilliant spot for hunting or swunting or fronting Snarksnots, or Snablesnots, sorry. And this here area is actually a mix, because there is Snarksnots, there is Snablesnots, and there is Exarosaur youngs right over there. And I'm gonna go ahead and I will link this waypoint in my description for you if you want to go and hunt there. So on to the last one, the dear old Kerberos. Now they are over here at Boreas, Osir, and Fort Troy, but I do have a really good place for them for new players that don't have those waypoints, and that's here. If you go to New Treasure Island main hangar, you are gonna be able to get right over there. So just up top. See you there in a second. And here we are. Right, so let's grab ourselves a Kerberos. So the benefit of these guys is that they tend to drop a lot of animal muscle oil as well. On top of that, this area right here on New Treasure Island happens to be a really straight path. So it's very good for picking up stones and fruit and such, and you don't really have to pay that much attention. Just don't walk into red dots. That's my general tip for you. Um, on top of that, it's really pretty straightforward. These are my top creatures to Swant, and the reason is because they are low enough HP that you mix the fronting and the killing so it doesn't become monotonous. Alright? Because what's the worst thing about the free-to-play gameplay in Entropia Universe, in my opinion, has to be the monotony of things. Because if you could do something different, why not do something different that kind of kicks up the activity a bit and makes time go by while you're being more effective. So that's really it for this video, in my opinion. Now I'm going to be making a comparison video between sweating completely for 1 hour in a parallel video when I am fronting for 1 hour, just to see which one is actually the king of free-to-play once and for all, because I have been curious myself and I thought you guys might actually enjoy that as well. And if you don't, well, that's really the way it is. Can't really do much about that, can I? So I hope you guys have a really good day, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. So take care.